And even though they quietly split in 2016, neither Will nor Jada have plans to make their separation legally binding. She told NBC in 2023, when she publicly confirmed their breakup, "I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever, and I just haven't been able to break that promise."
Jada said it herself, right there on national television. She looked straight into the camera and told the world she made a promise she refuses to break. And you know what? Nobody asked the next question. Nobody pushed back. Nobody asked what that promise actually means when two people haven't been living as husband and wife since 2016. That's 8 years. 8 years of a marriage that isn't a marriage. And the whole thing just got accepted. Moving on, nothing to see here. But you already knew something was off. You've known for a long time. Here's the thing though. Will and Jada just showed up together in Paris, June 22nd, arm in arm, smiling, walking through the city of light like everything is completely fine. Like none of the last decade even happened. The Oscars slap, the bombshell book. The entanglement, all of it apparently just gone. And the mainstream press covered it like a sweet little celebrity sighting. Louboutin jeans, patterned button up. Look how cute, look how they co-parent. That's the story they gave you. That's not the story. Let me tell you what's actually going on here. Because the real question isn't why they were in Paris. Their son Jaden is Christian Louboutin's first ever men's creative director, and both parents showed up to support him. Fine. Beautiful, actually. Jaden deserves that support and more. But while everyone was gushing over the fashion and the family moment, nobody stopped to ask why two people who confirmed their separation 8 years ago are still legally bound to each other. Still husband and wife on paper. Still refusing to file. Jada went on NBC in 2023 and confirmed what a lot of us already suspected. She said she and Will had been separated since 2016. 7 years of silence before that admission. 7 years of red carpet appearances and public statements and a whole carefully maintained image. And when she finally said it out loud, she wrapped it in this promise. She said she made a promise there would never be a reason for them to divorce. She said they'd work through whatever. She said she just hasn't been able to break that promise. She said, actually, let me rephrase that. She didn't just say she couldn't break the promise. She said she hasn't been able to. Present tense. Ongoing. Like something is still holding her there. And I want you to think about that word choice for a second. Hasn't been able to. Not chose not to. Not decided against it. Unable. What does that mean? What exactly is someone like Jada Pinkett Smith unable to do? And the reason for that, well, you'll see. Now here's where it gets interesting. In Hollywood, divorce is easy. Easier than most people's grocery runs. You've got the lawyers, the publicists, the prenups already drawn up, the systems in place. People in that world end marriages in weeks, sometimes days. So when two of the most powerful and wealthy entertainers on the planet sit legally married for 8 years after confirming their separation, you don't chalk that up to sentiment. You don't chalk that up to a promise. Something else is holding that structure in place. I need you to stay with me here. Think about what happened in the years between 2016 and now. Will's career trajectory. The Oscar incident that the whole world watched. Jada's book, where she laid bare things that would have destroyed most public figures. The way the industry responded. The way certain doors opened and others quietly closed. Hollywood doesn't run on talent alone. It never has. It runs on relationships, on agreements, on arrangements that the public doesn't get access to. And a legal marriage, even a dormant one, is still a legal structure. It has protections built into it. Protections that benefit more than just the two people inside it. I'll be honest with you. This one gets to me. It genuinely does. Because I've watched people in my own life stay in situations they couldn't walk away from. Not because of love, because of what walking away would cost them. And when I look at this situation, at these two people showing up together in Paris 8 years after their separation, smiling for cameras while the press calls it wholesome family content, I wonder who exactly benefits from that image. It's not a romantic question. It's not a gossip question. It's a power question. Who benefits? Because here's what we do know. Will Smith has been one of the most commercially valuable human beings in the entertainment industry for 3 decades. His name alone moves product, moves tickets. Jada built her own empire through red table talk, through her production work, through relationships that run deep in Hollywood's inner circles. And together, as a unit, even a fractured one, the Smith name carries a weight that individually they'd have to work harder to maintain. A divorce doesn't just split assets. It splits brands. It splits alliances. It splits whatever agreements are built underneath the surface of a marriage like this one. This wasn't just a Paris trip. Not just a Paris trip at all. Look at the timing. June 22nd sighting. Coming just weeks after Will appeared at the Beverly Hills launch of Jaden's Louboutin collection on June 4th. Both parents orbiting their son's professional rise. Both staying close. Both keeping the family image intact and visible right at the moment when Jaden is stepping into one of the most elite fashion houses in the world. Christian Louboutin doesn't hand that title to just anyone. First ever men's creative director in the brand's history. That's not a celebrity collab. That's a real appointment inside a world where family reputation and connections matter enormously. And both parents are right there. together, still married. Now, some people will watch this and say it's beautiful. Love without labels, a modern arrangement. And maybe that's true. I'm not here to judge what works for two adults in their private life, but I am here to ask the questions the press refuses to ask, because mainstream coverage of this couple has consistently taken the surface version and sold it as the full story. And just like I know that the full story is never the one they hand you. Jada made a promise. That's what she said. And we're all supposed to nod and move on. But what was that promise really built on? What did it cover? What did it protect? Because in the world these two live in, promises aren't just emotional commitments. They're sometimes legal ones, sometimes financial ones, sometimes the kind that involve other people who have a stake in the outcome. We all knew this relationship was more complicated than the red carpet smiles. We knew it when the entanglement story broke. We knew it when the slap happened and the room went silent and then just kept going. We knew it when Jada wrote that book and Will somehow remained attached to projects that should have been impossible given the controversy swirling around his name. We kept watching and thinking, something doesn't add up. It still doesn't add up. And here's the part nobody talks about. While we were busy analyzing the drama, while the press was busy counting the fashion labels on their Paris outfits, the one question that actually matters kept getting buried. Why does a legally binding marriage continue between two people who have been separated for 8 years, who are both wealthy enough to walk away cleanly, who have confirmed publicly that the romantic relationship is over? Why does that structure stay in place? Maybe it's the promise. Maybe it's love in some form that doesn't look like love. Maybe it's something else entirely, something that has nothing to do with either of them personally and everything to do with the machinery they're both inside. The elite entertainment industry has a way of making certain arrangements permanent, of making certain agreements very, very hard to dissolve. Jada said she hasn't been able to break that promise. I believe her. I just don't think the promise means what she told NBC it meant. So I'm asking you, right now, after everything you've seen from this couple over the last decade, after the book and the slap and the silence, and now the Paris photos, after 8 years of a separation that somehow never becomes a divorce, what do you actually think is keeping Will and Jada legally married? Say it in the comments, because I think you already know, and I think you've known for a long time, and I'm done pretending the answer isn't obvious.